Manchester United lose again in the Premier League. This is their worst start since 1989. It is seriously crazy, guys. It is seriously crazy. Manchester United should not have lost that game today. However, they were absolutely toothless, losing 1-0 to Crystal Palace after they just beat them in the Carabao Cup. I know no other team has really ever done that before, playing a team twice and winning them twice in competitions like that. However, this is no excuse. This is no excuse. We were good enough to win the game today. We were extremely toothless. I think Varane and Lindelof probably had the most touches. That says everything. Varane and Lindelof. I haven't seen the stats, and I'm not really a guy that's looking to look at the stats, especially after today's loss. But Varane and Lindelof probably had the most touches throughout the game, and they just were not willing to take that, especially in the first half. In the second half, it got better, but in the first half, they were not willing to take that risky pass into the midfield. There were so many times we had a high line, and there were so many times where Amrabat or Casemiro was in the midfield circle, and there's about four guys around him. They have space, but there's four guys around him, and we are just not willing to pass it to them. Pass it to them. Pull Crystal Palace out of place. You pass it to them. One of the Crystal Palace guys, has to go tackle them. And in that time that that guy is going to tackle him, you pass it again. I mean, if you want to play position football, especially against a team like Crystal Palace, they are going to have a block. They never had a low block. They had quite a high block. I mean, there were spaces in between them, and it's just even easier because on the weekend they had a low block, and obviously they learned from the low block. So they had a block, however they were high up the pitch, and we just were not willing to take the risk to pass it into midfield, to trust our midfielders. I mean, if you look at Mason Mount today, he should have touched the ball so much more. He carried the ball up the field. He took the ball from the defense to attack. He was the real link today between the defense and the midfield, and he simply did not touch the ball enough today, guys. Mason Mount did not touch the ball enough today. I think that is one of the biggest criticisms I had today. We saw what he was doing, and the amount of times he was doing it, he should have done it so much more. So much more. He was the link. Um, it, I, I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if Hannibal is a miss today, because Hannibal is also another midfielder that works immensely. He works immensely hard, but I don't want to speak about the guys that were not on the pitch today. Bruno Fernandes was on the pitch. Him and Hoyland they were chilling. There was, especially, like I said, it got better throughout the game, but there was players that was chilling. And I don't even want to blame the players that was chilling. Facundo, in that first half, even Deloitte, um, Rashford touched the ball a couple of times. Mount got the ball up the field a few times. Rasmus was chilling though. I mean, it's a graveyard shift, Bruno, because of our midfield's finally our structure. He's not coming deep. He's playing a lot closer to Rasmus, but he's also in a graveyard shift. The ball, Bruno should be touching that ball so many times, and they're just passing it amongst the back. Oh, Nana is touching too much. The ball should go forward. Let me just take a breath, guys. Let me just take a breath. It's just so disappointing. It is so disappointing. I'm not, I'm going to use the old line. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. It's seriously disappointing. I mean, I can understand maybe for the first 20 minutes. I can understand for the first 20 minutes. Maybe we're playing the way we're playing. But after that, you expect Ten Hag to tell them Deloitte needs the ball so he can give it to Facundo. Get the ball to Mount. Don't pass. If Lindelof passes to Varane or passes to Lindelof, pass it into the midfield. That's what we should have been doing. Because as soon as it's in the midfield, if they can't turn, they can play it back. But then at least you know you are doing something to pull Crystal Palace out of their shape. But we were just passing it mostly. Like, yes, we did pass it into the midfield, and sometimes it came back to the defense, man. I'm still 100% behind Ten Hag, but he needs to sort the stuff out. If he wants to play this position football, he needs to sort the stuff out. I mean, Crystal Palace played us over the weekend, and we showed our cards because of all our injuries. We showed our cards. Amrabat obviously is playing left back. I do think maybe he needs to be in that midfield to impact the game even more. To impact the game even more, I think he needs to be in that midfield because he needs to also be wary of the fact that he needs to drift out to the left, especially if he loses the ball. So I think Amrabat in that midfield. Casemiro today, I'm expecting more from him, and I never really saw that crossfield balls from him. I don't know. I need to go watch the game again, but I never really saw those balls that he was getting on the weekend. Where was that ball? Fakunda was chilling. Fakunda, I've seen it so many times in this video. Fakunda was chilling on that wing. It is the midfielder's responsibility to give him that ball. Yes, he can come deep, but what's the point? What's the point of him coming deep? I do think Garnacho actually had a better game than Facundo, and Rashford was lost on that left wing. You see, I think a lot of what's happening with Rashford was, so we had this bad start to the season, and for the past 8 years, even last season, for the past 8 years, we've been playing counter-attacking football, and now Ten Hag is trying to turn the wheel so that we are a fully possession-based side, and it is even though pieces are falling into place, it is still being a massive struggle. A massive struggle. Rashford was so lost because he's been playing like 8 years of counter-attacking football. 8 years, guys, at least. Well, Rashford, how long has he been around? Did he come Mourinho's time? 7 years, 7 years. And when he's on that left wing, he's now not sure. Should I pass? Should I shoot? Should I cross? He's having those questions where on the right wing, he more often than not crosses the ball. So I think Rashford needs to move out to the right wing. And I think Garnacho needs to be playing more game. Garnacho also needs to refine his game, but on that left wing, his decision making is better than Rashford. Rashford is explosive, but Garnacho's decision making is better. He still has a long way to go, but it's better than Rashford. Yeah, it's just disappointing. I just thought we were toothless, guys, and we need to trust our midfield with the ball. We need to give them more ball. Mount, especially Mount and Amrabat, needs to see that ball so much more, man. So much more. Our wingers also, like, it got better as the game went on, but in the beginning, Rashford saw the ball a couple of times because Mount carried the ball up the left-hand side of the field, so Rashford was automatically there. But on the other side of the field, nothing is happening. Facundo is chilling. I'll say it again. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content. I know the match was disappointing, but I hope you at least enjoyed my thoughts, my analysis on the game. If your glazes out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and as always, guys, safety in numbers.